It's an 87th Precinct podcast bonus episode. This is the bonus episode for the book Blood Relatives, the 30th of the 87th Precinct books. I can't believe we're up to 30 already out of 55.
Madness.
So we rated it pretty highly on the main podcast, but we've got our usual rundown of book covers and editions, our look at some more stuff from 1975, and casting, fantasy casting stuff as well. Mm-hmm. Although one thing we did mention on the main podcast, which we didn't end up following up on, was we talked about the film of Blood Relatives being produced by someone called Michael Klinger, where he was one of the producers, and Stevo now has the additional information about the links between Michael Klinger and some other stuff you might know.
Well, I remembered this guy, and I would like to stress that I didn't remember him because he produced Confessions of a Window Cleaner and Confessions of a, what other things people, pop performer.
Oof.
Yeah, there was a lot of confessions of films.
There's
Confessions of a Summer Camp Counsellor.
Oh, yeah.
Who on earth? What, he must have been out of his mind. Anyhow, no, but I remember him. Well, I mentioned the Roger Moore link because he produced Gold, which is set in South Africa. And
Some
Roger
good
Moore
safari
plays
suit action,
a
surely.
maverick, safety-conscious mining engineer who does his best to avert disaster against a very unscrupulous John Gielgud who floods a mine in order to inflate gold prices. Yeah, it's a corker. And he also produced Get Carter, which I didn't remember. But then also Cul-de-sac and Repulsion, which are two early
films.
Roman Polanski films, yeah. A Study in Terror as well.
Gosh.
Wasn't that? Yeah, that's the one with John Neville, where he's Sherlock Holmes is chasing down Jack the Ripper.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
So there you go, yeah. So some good films and some absolute tosh.
All of them, regardless of quality, better known than the film of Blood Relatives.
True. Yeah.
Anyway, I presume he was just brought in from the sort of to manage the English language side of the the promotion of the film. But anyway, let's skip on from that and have a look at our copies of the book. We've all got the same edition this time, haven't we?
We have indeed.
The only thing to tell them apart will be their smell.
Well, there might be other things as well, and not just that mine's got loads of little tiny post-it notes stuck in it. I will say one thing about this. It's odd, because obviously every McBain book starts, 87th Precinct book starts with, the city in these pages is imaginary, the people, the places are all fictitious, only the police routine is based on established investigatory techniques. In here, it's put on the copyright page in tiny letters.
It is, yeah.
Like it's some sort of legal obligation, rather than a Dragnet-style announcement at the start.
Yeah, that's
start
true.
of it.
Do you think that's a bit of a mess-up?
I don't know, it feels a bit like it.
Yeah, it looks like someone's just thought, it's a bit more legal stuff, let's tuck it over there.
Yeah, I don't know why, really. I mean, I presume we've all got exactly the same edition, but I don't know.
This edition's 77.
Yep.
Yeah, 1977, £1.75 on the back.
Oh, you see, mine's been crossed out, but
Yours is different.
Oh, he's got a barcode. He's got a barcode, everyone.
Yours is slightly newer then, I would say.
Yeah, it will be if he's got a barcode on.
Yeah, can't read what that price would have been.
Same ISBN number.
Well, there you go.
£3. Mine was free. I used to have this. I've just remembered something that I was going to find out. I got a hard copy.
Oh, right.
Remember? Yeah.
Ah, right. Okay.
I mentioned it in the last one, or to you, not on.
Not everything I say is recorded for podcast purposes. Just quite a lot of it.
Yeah, I've forgotten about that because I got this in order to make sure I had a nice paperback.
Yeah.
So my edition would have been 20 entire pence more expensive than yours.
Wow.
I've just discovered from.
Well, it costs a lot to put a barcode on the back of a book.
Certainly does.
My copy was £1.50 when I bought it as a second-hand book. But it's got a little sticker in the front saying that it was once the property of Michael Blumenthal from Birkenhead.
Oh.
I've got his address and phone number in the front of the book.
To ring him up. I've got your book.
It's 051, so it's before the dialing codes changed
crikey.
for the UK. But the copies we've got are the gold band McBain editions, and it's a close-up of a fingerprint or a bloody fingerprint on a form, isn't it, basically? Quite simple.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
I shall pass over to Stevo the various other editions.
All right, okay.
American
Let's
on
have a
top,
look.
UK on bottom.
Yeah, that's the one I've got. I've got that one.
So Stevo, you've got the Hamish Hamilton UK edition.
I think that might be worth something.
No.
The bloody handprints, though.
Sorry.
But that's the one I've got, yeah. That one looks new, that, doesn't it? Oh, I see, look at that.
So you're pointing to the Bantam edition, which is the
Yeah.
weird one that was published a couple of years
Ooh,
later.
look at that, there's a man's face coming out of a traffic light.
Rather eerie, isn't it?
It is, yeah, that looks quite scary, does that? And then they're the bloody marks on the door.
The original Pan edition.
Hands feature prominently in all versions, apart from ours,
Yeah.
which is the end of a hand, known as the fingerprint end. But yeah, bloodied hands. They're not the best ones we've seen, are they, really?
No.
Although that edition that you've got, actually, I think a bit more stylized, isn't it? I quite
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I should have brought... Yeah.
It's such a
It's not
significant
in my
issue.
main... It's not in my main McBain's section in my bookcase.
get
Yeah.
I think I've
But
got
yeah,
some squirreled away.
The bloody handprints on the doors of the 87th precincts are such a powerful image in the book. It's understandable why they feature quite so heavily in
Yes.
this. So although it looks quite stylized, it is supremely literal, the design that they've used for all of these. So Steve, are you going to do a smell assessment
Yeah,
here
I'll
to
do
try
a
and...
quick huff. Right, okay. It's a little spicy, that one.
Spicy.
It's more mellow.
Bit mellow, my edition. That's nice. not quite as mature, obviously.
Ooh.
Oh, blimey.
I don't know. Yours is sweeter.
Oh, excellent stuff.
Yeah, I call it a draw.
Sweet, spicy, and mellow, but to equal extents.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I hope everyone appreciated that feature. I think he's going to kill Steve one of these days.
No.
Book spores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to turn into a bookworm. Let's have a look at some 1975 stuff. Our top 10 UK albums.
Ooh.
Wish you were here.
No.
What? Oh, Bowie, Young Americans, maybe?
Let me have a little look. I'm looking at it. I can't read it. Why is that? My eyes are going funny. No, no Bowie in the top 10 albums.
What about Queen? They
No, 75's when Bohemian Rhapsody comes out, isn't it?
So
but I don't
what
think the
about
album
first- right.
it gets into the top 10 of the
I
year.
can't believe Wish You Were Here wasn't top. Maybe that came out towards the end of the year, maybe.
It's, I mean,
Blood on the Tracks, wasn't that 75? No.
Is there a lot of greatest hits albums?
yes, basically. I'll run it down for you. I mean, the first number one position was held by the Best of the Stylistics.
Oh, yeah.
By the Stylistics.
Yep.
Number two was Once Upon a Star by... think Scotland, think...
Bay City
Tartan.
Rollers?
Yeah.
Yep.
Bay City Rollers.
God, Rollermania.
And then number three was Atlantic Crossing by...
Rod Stewart.
Then we have 40 Golden Greats by Jim Reeves.
Oof, that's perhaps too many golden greats.
Then we have Venus and Mars by Wings.
Terrific.
Then we have 40 Greatest Hits by Elvis Presley. 40 is the magic number, clearly.
Apparently, well, yeah, double LP, isn't it, I guess?
Essentially.
Yeah.
Then we have Greatest Hits by Elton John.
Bloody hell.
Then we have Horizon by The Carpenters.
It's a bad year, isn't it?
Definitely lots of record companies looking for easy cash cows.
Yeah, well, number 9, though, Tubular Bells by Mike Oldfield.
Oof.
A classic of the tubular bell-based genre.
Yes.
The best narrated Tubular Bells album
Yeah.
ever.
True.
Well, it is, because it's Viv Stanshall, isn't it? So, from the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. And at number 10, 40 Greatest Hits by Perry Como.
Bloody hell. Bleak times.
It's very bleak.
That's a very uninspiring lineup, that, I would say.
it's... I mean, there's lots going on in music in 1975.
there is,
That's
yeah.
not represented very well by the album, the top albums of the year. Iron Maiden are formed in 1975.
Right, yeah.
So that's quite good.
Was the American chart a bit more exciting?
Quite possibly, but I haven't got it written down.
Okay, well, let's pretend it was.
Okay.
Less golden greats kicking around, maybe. Or perhaps there was even more.
Maybe.
Yeah, man. Some TV shows then, to put into context stuff that was going on. The Sweeney begins in the UK.
All right, okay.
I have never seen a single episode of The Sweeney.
Have you not?
No, have I? No.
Have you watched it, Stevo?
I'm not sure, actually, I've ever sat down and watched one from start to finish.
I feel like I know exactly what it's like, but I've never seen
Yeah.
it.
It was heavily parodied, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I
sort
think it's all right.
Yeah.
It might be worth investigating,
It
but
was a sort of rough and tumble
Bill.
buddy cop show sort of thing, wasn't it, in the UK? A bit more down on the streets, flying squad stuff.
yeah.
That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Good Life starts in the UK.
Wonderful.
Less flying squad.
Not so much crime investigation in The Good Life, more
Felicity Kendall, though.
Felicity Kendall.
So it's positive.
Yes, true. It's a very good comedy, The Good Life. Wheel of Fortune starts in America. In the UK, we've got Faulty Towers starts.
All right, okay.
Obviously.
And probably ends as well. Or does
Well, it
end
starts in September, and there was 2 series, so I
Oh,
think,
right, yeah.
I think
Okay,
it
fair
runs
enough.
for a couple of years.
The second series was a long time after the first, wasn't it?
I'm not sure off the top of my head. A couple of years, I think.
I just knew that.
I thought this, wasn't it like 79, the second series? I thought there was a big gap, but
I know
might
there
be
aren't
wrong.
many episodes, but I suppose if they're split over 2 series, then
Anyway,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Another good comedy that I like is Rutland Weekend Television.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant.
Eric Idle and Neil Innes, which births the Ruttles. This is a good one, Morgan. You like this? There's a TV special called The Nightmare by Alice Cooper.
Oh, it's amazing.
You've seen it?
Yes, absolutely terrific. Definitely recommended to anyone. Yeah, there's his big sort of launch of his solo career following the breakup of the original Alice Cooper band. Absolutely tremendous.
As I understand it, it's like a conceptual promo film for the album.
Yeah, basically, it's the full Welcome to My Nightmare album as in visual form. It's absolutely great.
Brilliant. Okay. We also see the end of Ironside.
Oh.
The end of the Odd Couple TV series, which is the one that has Jack Klugman in. He has to get ready to go and be Quincy, you see.
Of course.
And things like Gunsmoke and Mannix, things that have been on like American TV for decades at that point, finish. But something that does start in 1975 on TV in America is Barney Miller. And people keep telling me about Barney Miller and saying that it is more like the 87th Precinct than Hill Street Blues is.
All right.
Barney Miller's a sitcom, essentially. It's a comedy. And I've watched a tiny amount of it, and I get exactly what they mean. It's much more about squad room dynamic, and it's a laugh. So I'll tell you what it says here. Barney Miller takes place almost entirely within the confines of the detective squad room and Captain Barney Miller's adjoining office of New York City's fictional 12th Precinct.
Interesting.
Which is based in Greenwich Village. A typical episode featured the detectives bringing in several complainants or suspects. Usually 2 or 3 separate subplots are in an episode. Different officers dealing with different crimes. And occasionally you'd have something about their home life. It does sound quite a lot like the 87th Precinct. But I've not been able to find any direct reference from Ed McBain to Barney Miller. And given how annoyed he was with Hill Street Blues, this does seem like it is also taking quite a bit of influence from that, but who knows? So we must try and watch some Barney Miller, because the little tiny bits I've watched have been really quite enjoyable, and it'd be good to try and work it out.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that on
No,
UK telly.
I think it was probably shown over here, but never been repeated really.
Yeah.
There was like 170 episodes of it. It's not a little thing. Films then, 1975.
Was Jaws 1975?
It was the top grossing film. I love that damn shark.
Yeah.
Less keen on all the sequels, but there's always
that's
something
fair
to
enough.
enjoy. Yeah, I love Jaws. Very good film, one of my faves.
And with the Golden Gun. Was that
No
1975?
Bond film in 75.
That would
was
have
the year
been
before.
74, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Hence the Alice Cooper connection.
Oh, of course. Oh, we talked about it last time.
We
didn't
did.
But if you were missing Bond, you could have...
Watch Gold, actually.
Yeah.
That might be 1975.
it might well have been. Or you could watch The Return of the Pink Panther. With Peter Sellers finally back in the role of Inspector Clouseau.
I watched Pink Panther yesterday.
The original
Yeah.
one. It's weird, isn't it? How it's
Yeah.
not really a Peter Sellers film, but it is.
Yeah.
What else have we got? Well, Rocky Horror Picture Show,
Oh, yeah.
the #2 film of the year.
Marvellous.
And a film that apparently has never not been in cinemas ever since it's always been showing somewhere. That's one of these films that's had the longest continuous run.
Perennial midnight movie.
Yeah. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, tremendous, yeah.
Okay.
Dog Day Afternoon. I don't really know about. I've never seen it.
I've never seen it. No.
A film called Shampoo.
Oh, Warren Beatty is that?
Think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have Return of Pink Panther.
Was Rocky 70? That was quite a lot earlier than you think.
Well, I'll keep going down this list. A film called Funny Lady. And then,
is that a sequel to Funny Girl, possibly?
quite possibly.
Yeah.
I sadly lack that information here. Then The Apple Dumpling Gang, which was
Wow.
a Disney film.
Yep.
Rocky was 76.
Oh, well, hold on to that thought for next time then. Aloha, Bobby and Rose, which is a film about some people. And a film called The Other Side of the Mountain, which is a biopic of a skier.
Oh, exciting stuff.
The sort of thing that gets, awards, I imagine.
Oh, yeah.
No Hammer horror films in 1975.
Oh, dark days.
There's probably only one to go, is there not?
Yeah, probably. There is a Carry On film.
Oh, God.
Of course there is.
And it's not Carry On Camping, but it is essentially Carry On Camping.
Carry On campsite.
Yeah. Carry On multi-use recreational facility.
Carry On motorhome.
Carry On Winnebago. No, it's called Carry On Behind.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Which
Never heard of it.
Well, everyone will be rushing out to watch it once they hear about frustrated butcher Fred Ramsden and his dim electrician friend Ernie Bragg head off for a holiday trip at the Riverside caravan site.
That sounds wonderful.
I believe, and don't quote me on this, but I believe hijinks ensue.
It seems
So
likely.
who's in that then? Who was still in them in 1975?
Well, I think Windsor Davies is the main guy in that one. Ken Williams is in it, but a lot of the other cast have moved on by that point.
Yeah.
So
Even they were sick of them.
yeah.
Windsor Davies, the shouty man.
Yes.
Yeah.
It ain't our fault, Mum.
But there's some great films that are also out in 1975. So, for instance, you've got Rollerball,
Ooh,
which is a cult classic.
it's a good one.
You've got Shivers, also a cult classic, which
Oh, gosh, yeah.
used to be shown late night on Channel 4, which was interesting to watch.
Is that the first David Cronenberg?
It might have been the first
Maybe, I
David
think,
Cronenberg.
possibly.
I think Deep Red might have been 1975. Dario Argento.
You might be right. I haven't got it on my list. I've got Barry Lyndon.
Oh, yeah.
The Kubrick one that has anyone actually seen that?
Yeah, he spent millions getting candles.
Yeah,
to,
we won Oscars for
burn
lighting
the
design
right
and
colour
costumes,
and
didn't
stuff,
it?
didn't he? Like,
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was quite a hard shoot to do because he was doing
it looks really good, but it's kind of boring, in my opinion.
We've got two Ken Russell films.
Tommy?
No.
Tommy's one of them.
Yes.
What was the other one?
There's another biopic,
Listomania?
Listomania.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's basically just hanging around with the Who and just going, list. It's bonkers Ken Russell.
What's Listomania?
A biopic of List is it with Roger Daltrey as well?
Roger Daltrey playing List. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Playing who?
The composer, Franz
Franz
Liszt.
Liszt.
Yeah. So I've never seen it.
And it was called Listomania.
Yeah.
That sounds very silly.
It's Ken Russell. It's going to be very silly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you
Probably
seen it?
no, but I imagine it's got Anne Margaret rolling around in baked beans as well.
Yeah, I have a feeling
Is
Ringo
Oliver
might
Reed
pop
in
up
it?
in that as well.
Oh, probably.
Is Oliver Reed
He's
in it?
bound to be, isn't he? Surely.
Probably turns up as Chopin or something.
Ollie, what you doing? Yeah, I'm only going to be in it if you pay me £1 million to play
Oh,
Chopin.
Frederick Chopin. I'm going to play the piano louder than you, List.
Only with the black notes.
Yeah.
Brilliant, perfect, Ollie.
My hands are huge and fast. I don't know that about Chopin, but it seems likely. We've got to watch this film now. We'd be very
Yeah, we do,
disappointed if
yeah.
that's not in it somewhere.
If not, we immediately need to make this film.
All right, okay, what else? French Connection 2,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I still haven't watched yet,
Yeah,
but
no,
I've got it to
it's-
watch. We've got The Terror of Mechagodzilla.
Oh, crikey.
We also have Monty Python and the Holy Grail,
Oh, of course, yeah.
another one of my all-time favourite films.
Yeah.
Naturally.
We have One of Our Dinosaurs is Missing.
Oh,
In terms of talking about Disney
as
films.
if I didn't remember that, yeah. That's brilliant, yeah.
Yeah.
Derek Nimmo in his prime.
Oh yeah, in his pomp.
Peter Ustinov. Yep.
It's only massively racist and quite problematic to rewatch.
Yeah, it is, but, you know, you just have to put that to one side, I'm afraid.
Yeah, you have to bite your tongue so hard now watching it that it's...
it's all about the dinosaur, isn't it?
It's, as you say, all about the dinosaur.
Bernard Breslow, I mentioned him before, he's in that as well.
Yes, also being massively racist portrayal.
Yeah, giant Chinese person.
Yeah. So we'll move on in a second, but I'd like to tell you of two films, the name of two films I found from the USSR in 1975. One was called Hedgehog in the Fog.
Oh, oof. Great.
And one was called Hello, I'm Your Aunt.
I think this was quite a good... There's supposed to be quite a lot of really good, like, Soviet cinema in the 70s,
I'm sure there is, yeah.
Like...
And a lot of animation. I think those two might have been animated ones.
Yeah.
And Tarkovsky's Hedgehog in the Fog.
Yeah. Very bleak.
Yeah, like
4 hours of a hedgehog looking into a pond.
Yeah, I think. Well, I've seen a few like films, and like nothing really happens for like hours on end.
A lot of the Russian cinema I've seen from that time, it's not rushed.
No,
and there's a lot of kind of
fields are very prominent.
Long shots of
fields.
Peasants looking forlorn in windswept fields.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, yeah, that sounds brilliant. They should have made one of our dinosaurs.
Soviet windy field. Carry on up the Soviet windy field.
Carry on up the Kremlin.
9-hour-long carry-on film.
Entirely in black, stark black and white.
Yeah.
Sid James in the distance.
I was going to say, you got... who's the Dicky Ticker guy?
Kenneth Connor.
Yeah, Kenneth. You'd like, who's that guy in the distance there? And it's only after 3.5 hours that you perceive it's Kenneth Connor. Dragging the dead corpse of a horse up a field. Like 7 hours in, you know. The authorities arrive or something. The Omsk horse inspector arrives.
That's it.
He's quite furious that Dicky Ticker Man's not got his paperwork in order about this horse, and then it ends. Something like
the
that.
5-year plan has failed.
Yeah, so that's an analogy of the failing
dear me.
Brezhnev era economic agricultural policies.
Nailed it.
Yeah, it's central Russian region.
Oh dear me. I feel very difficult to move on from that, but I feel we must. We may have now lost. We may have now lost all our listeners.
I would be quite surprised if that hasn't been made. We've just not seen it.
Well, yeah. Okay, let's move on to the fantasy casting. So the fantasy casting we announced was going to be for Lieutenant Sam Grossman, the head of the forensics division of the police force in these books.
Right. Okay. Yep.
Someone who is described as sort of tall and angular, quite gentle, but would look more at home on a New England farm than actually in a police lab.
I'm nailed on.
Guileless, blue eyes behind
blue
glasses.
Eyes.
I don't think that matters.
All right.
Not with CGI in that. But he's a very important character in the book.
My guy doesn't have blue eyes.
Well, it doesn't matter.
He has brown eyes.
Okay, brown-eyed, handsome man.
Well, yeah.
So we got some nice suggestions in from a few different folk, and I will run down through them. We had a suggestion from, the first one that came in was from Kevin Mahoney, and his suggestion was the one that instantly came to mind when I was thinking about it, which is James Cromwell, who is, of course, from LA Confidential, Babe, Green Mile. You know James Cromwell, basically.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I was trying to think of his name actually, and I couldn't. But that was something that did go through my mind.
Yeah, he does. The description of him, brief though it is in the books, does bring James Cromwell to mind. We had some other good suggestions. Our friend Criminoli suggested Lance Henriksen, the guy from who plays the android in Aliens and Alien 3. So he's a picture of him there in the middle.
Oh yeah.
Lance Henriksen.
Okay.
We have a suggestion from Bill Slocum of Jeff Corey, who was the main villain in the film True Grit. A man who's acted alongside Glenn Campbell.
Oh, now you're talking.
We had a somewhat light-hearted suggestion, I suspect, from Jim Goodwin of Ed Williams, who played the lab tech in the Police Squad Naked Gun films.
It'd be a good crossover.
Yeah, it would be. A nice suggestion from David MacDonald of Sam Waterston, who was, I think, is best known from Law and Order.
He looks a bit like Ed McBain.
Well, that's what I was thinking. He looks. If you were going to do a biopic of Ed McBain, you'd have cast Sam Waterston.
As older Ed McBain, yeah, definitely. I can see that.
Yeah.
What does he look like in the past? Because he might be good. Corella?
Well, you'd have to have a look, wouldn't you, back through the pictures. A slightly different choice from our friend Tom Crabbill on Facebook of Jude Law. I suppose as he's maturing a little bit now, he's...
Perhaps, yeah.
Yeah. I mean... Jude Law's a bit... I can take him or leave him in certain things. I generally enjoy him in most stuff.
He can be really good, can't he?
But he sort of went through a bit of a phase of ubiquity where it was a bit like, oh, what, Jude Law's in this again? So
he's kind of always the same in every single film he's in, isn't he?
I think Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow is still my favourite, one of his. So my suggestion, before we come to your thoughts on this one, is simple. It's Hugh Laurie.
Oh, yeah.
That's who I want. He's an established actor of a certain age and gravitas. He's got quite a sort of chiselled face now, hasn't he? Sort of almost weather-beaten. I mean, or miserable, another way of looking at it.
That's true.
No,
that's good. I like it.
Big name now.
Yeah. That's true.
So here's my suggestion. So, Morgan, what have you got?
My one and only thought on this was Ed Begley Jr.
Oh, excellent. We love Ed Begley Jr.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, he's very good, actually.
Yeah. I don't know, just the first thing that came to my head, and I was like, I couldn't kind of get him to move out of my head to let other thoughts in, so I thought I'll stick with that.
He's good, because Ed Begley Jr. he's got a very good comic turn as well. He's very good with that. Played Irving Crutch in the Columbo adaptation of Jigsaw.
Oh, well.
As well as playing Maria Bamford's father in Lady Dynamite on Netflix. But I could go with Ed Begley Jr. That'd be interesting. Stevo?
I similarly just had one idea. Been trying to get as many photos of him because he's quite old now. But James Woods was my suggestion.
Isn't he mad as a hairbrush?
He is a bit of a loon now, but I do know what you mean.
I think he looks quite like what I perceive. See, he's a bit old and crusty now, but But yeah,
liability on set.
1980. Well, you need to have a bit of fun, don't you?
It's funny how such a small description of a character in a book can lead to some very quick and obvious things to come to your mind, whereas other ones we struggle with quite a lot. But everyone who contributed sort of had a very quick and pretty good sort of set of choices, really, to come out of that. So very interesting. It's never explicitly stated in the book as well, though. Sam Grossman is surely a Jewish character as well. It's never said that he's Jewish, but he does make reference to certain Jewish holidays and talking about it, and occasionally sort of uses a bit of Yiddish language when he's talking on the phone to Corella and things like that. That's by the by. That's just a aspect of the character that's there. So what do we think? Who are we casting?
I don't know. I think one of your two's suggestion, I would say.
I suspect you can get Ed Begley Jr. for less than Hugh Laurie.
Well, that James Cromwell might be very good, actually.
Wow.
Oh, I don't know. Which way are we going to go?
You see, I think Hugh Laurie's... How old's Hugh Laurie now? He's been his...
It doesn't matter how old he is. He can.
I'll just.
He can be what.
He's very bankable, isn't he, Hugh Laurie?
He is. I mean, we can do a fantasy cast, and we can also do one for the actual real production, which is obviously going to be made. Because, I don't know how old Hugh Laurie actually is.
I should know this because I'm a massive fan of Fry and Laurie, and
mid-50s.
Heading towards 60, I think.
And Ed Begley Jr.'s early 60s, I think.
Might be getting on a little bit now.
Well, you two need to fight it. I could go with either of those two, I think, yeah.
It's almost like a proper guest star role, isn't it? Because you wouldn't necessarily have them in every episode, but you'd be really appreciating it when they're on screen. Oh.
Well, I mean, whilst I would like one of my choices to actually make it into this production, I'd be happy to go
Do you know
with
what? Well,
Hugh
we'll
Laurie
cast
as well.
Ed Begley Jr.
Will we?
Because he is brilliant. He is brilliant. It'd be interesting to see him do that sort of role, and we could save Hugh Laurie for someone else.
Okay, that's cool.
I
That's
like
good.
that.
He's versatile as well, so there's
Yeah.
going to be another role that he could do.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to finding out what it is.
Well, we need to decide who we're going to cast next time when we return for the next episode.
Oof.
Do we go to the squad room? Do we challenge ourselves now for one of the...
Are we going to do Burke his wedding?
Well, the next book is about Bert and Augusta's wedding, so why don't we do
Bert
Kling,
Oh, now.
the boyish good looks of Bertram Kling. That's the challenge for next time, everybody. I think that'd be a tough one, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
And there's quite a lot of precedent already from him appearing in different adaptations and things. Excellent stuff. Right, well, like I say, when we return next time, it'll be about So Long As You Both Shall Live. Do you know what? I think it's time to wrap up this bizarre cavalcade of Russian carry-on films and
Yep.
racist portrayals of
Dinosaur
everyone.
chasers.
Oh, do you know what? I'm spent on the idea of Listomania and Oliver Reed singing those songs. I'm going to say goodbye. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
And fare thee well.